if you're going through a rough patch where maybe you're not feeling good and the other athlete comes around you, it can sort of spur you on, both emotionally and physically, to keep up the pace. It helps to keep your focus, gives you something simpler to focus on if you can just watch the athlete. All strong cyclists in their own way. And here we see, I love Camilla Pedersen. Look at her taking the energy from that crowd.
Yeah.
She's cheering. She's taking it all in and getting a little bit of an energy boost there. Just wanted to highlight that and the advantage of racing on home soil, taking that energy from your fellow countrymen. But back to Angela. Again, I'm just a little bit surprised to see her not making more of a move and being able to capitalize on what is typically her strength. We knew she would give up time, certainly in the swim, given the injuries that she's had. But at this point, through 72 kilometers of the bike, she's been losing a bit of time as opposed to gaining and making some gains here. And she's got to get a move on if she's going to want to take that one Kona slot that's available. You know, that their bike handling skills, she's going to have developed that as a short course athlete. So knowing that by standing up or sitting up, she's taking some pressure off that back wheel, the ability to ride in on a flat, on a disc, with lots of corners, that's a smart for having instantaneous or even somewhat immediate support from tech. And again, I think Anne's making the right choice here.
Yes.
She's riding it in. I think to stop and even try to sort of fill in with a fix-a-flat or a quick foam would have cost her 60 seconds. I think her riding in on a flat is maybe costing her 20 by not being able to ride as fast as she would otherwise.
It is moving along, and as Per referenced Patrick Lange at the European Championships, and yes, we'd actually addressed that exact point earlier in the day.
Knocked off Eva Wuti from all the way back from 2013 that withstood the
high, and she has bounce in her step, but at the same time is so smooth. It's not up and down motion. It's just this incredible turnover and
very light on her feet. Just really light on her feet. I mean, you look at some of the great runners in the sport, and Marinda Carfrae comes to mind. You know, Rinny looks powerful when she runs. You know, she's got definite ground contact and just looks powerful. Contrast that to an Anne Haug, who just looks like she bounces across the ground just so lightly, on her toes, and you know, both brilliant runners, but just very different styles. And here, this is your first time in the broadcast booth in a while. We call this the judgment zone.
I'm an athlete. I mean, if I told the start line, I will always give my very best, and I think I can't do it different. I mean, my head says just finish, be on the safe side, but if you're towing the start line and you're in the race, you go like as good as you can, obviously, but the main focus will always be, I don't take any risk. I mean, if it's rainy on the bike course, I will go on the safety side, don't risk anything in corners or do things you probably would do if it's like a world championship, but I want to see the finish line, and the second goal is to do it as best as I can possibly do it, yeah.
So there you go, a somewhat delicate balance between sort of balancing out the fighter and the competitor in her who wants to put forth her best performance possible, but also with an ounce of conservation to make sure she doesn't do anything to jeopardize what her primary goal is, and that is for Kona in October. So there you have it, and that is the first time as we saw her. Of course, this is Camilla Pedersen, but when we get a shot back to Anne Haug, she's running with a brace on her leg or some sort of compression. He was gonna take the win there. We saw a degree of emotion, but even during that race, he was pretty the emotion on his face and in his entire being of being supported like that.
Yes.
And you could tell before we even got to talk to him at the finish line what it meant to him just as he made his way around the marathon course. And I think you see that particularly with Michelle Vesterbeet, I'm sure Camilla Pedersen, and maybe to a lesser extent because she's relatively newer on the super. Again, when you
and you can see the crowd starting to build as she comes through, and can I say it again? Can I say, look, It's, I think it's still a few hours before that bike cutoff.
Yes.
So, it's, as Kira Roberts is saying, Michelle wrote that she will not.
And Maja sitting in 4th, Angela sitting in 5th, have been holding steady at around, let's say, 4 minutes, and it still is kind of right there. It's dipped just under 4 minutes, but Angela and Nathan not able to make much headway through 22.5 kilometers to try to catch Maja Stage, Nielsen, or Michelle Vesterby. At this point,
strollers have been flying. Well, you know, do you have a dog? Perhaps you could put one in a stroller.
Yeah, maybe you could see how that training goes. Exactly.
And off you go. You know, if you don't need babysitting, maybe just even dog sitting. Put somebody's.
Put Fido in a carriage.
Yes, put Fido in a carriage, and off you go.
I just got a visual on that. I don't even know what you look like, Sean, and I just got a visual. Epic, and it should be hard. And so if Madame Pele wants to make it a little bit harder on him, certainly I'm not going to complain. It's all that much more exciting to watch how the athletes withstand conditions like that.
Well, it makes it very interesting. It changes the dynamic.
Yes.
Off the bike.
I'm catching some slack from Sid, who's saying, "Yeah, thanks, Dee Dee." I don't have to be out there racing; she does. So here I'm asking for Madame Pele to blow a gale on the athletes, and I think I might catch some history being made here in Copenhagen today. She was second out of the swim. She led off the bike, and she hasn't looked back ever since. Anne Haug, your 2019 KMD IRONMAN Copenhagen champion and course record holder.
Unbelievable. 8:31. That's a pretty monumental course record. And here we have our top age grouper coming across line. Very gracious of him to hang back and let her have her moment and let her have her finish as she so well deserves. And our race director there is congratulating Anne and her family and friends. So what a performance this has been for her. Just got up front.
Ladies and gents, we're live at the finish line of KMD IRONMAN Copenhagen with your 2019 winner, Anna Haug from Germany. Anna, first of all, congratulations. How are you feeling right now?
Very tired, but very happy also. So it was a fantastic race for me, and yeah, I not even get the job done and get my Hawaii qualification, but with that time, I'm more than happy and overwhelmed, to be honest.
8:31 is one of the fastest times ever set by a woman in Ironman racing. That sounds like a little more than just getting the job done. That sounds a little bit like a statement towards Kona.
I don't know how it will be in Kona, but I didn't know where the time was. I just got the times when you said it in the last lap, so I didn't have it on my goal to set a new record or whatever. I just tried to be as controlled as possible and get it to the finish line, because I mean my preparation was a bit rough, you know, so I didn't know where my form was, so I tried to be very controlled, and I think that's the key in Ironman, obviously, to be controlled.
You had a bit of a rough time, you said to yourself, going into the year with the injury and everything. What were your own expectations before you pulled this race off here?
I mean, I knew that my swim form was very good, and I did my job on the bike, but I'd be back for running just for 4 weeks, so I haven't done any long run, any fast run, so it was a little bit of a gamble, and I to be honest, I didn't know if I can walk through a marathon, if I have to stop at half and walk a bit. I didn't know. It was like a box of chocolate. I didn't know what was inside, and I'm more than happy I relied on my muscle memory, and obviously I had a good muscle memory, so...
This was definitely a very good box of chocolate, without a doubt. Obviously it was about getting the job done, getting that Kona slot, or you confirmed the slot. What's your preparation going to look like after this race now leading into Kona?
To be honest, I don't know, because I'm on the start list for the 71.3 World Champs, but first I have to see how my recovery will go. I will have to talk to my coach and my physio and make a plan then, because my main focus is obviously Hawaii, and I will do everything what's necessary to be in best possible shape in Hawaii, and if I will race 70.3, I would like to, but I mean, we have to see how the recovery is going.
Obviously we would love to see you race as much as possible on the circuit, but good luck with the recovery, and once again, congratulations. in second place. From Denmark as well, in an incredible race, breaking the 9-hour mark here in Copenhagen, setting one of the fastest times ever raced at KMD IRONMAN Copenhagen in 8:49. Let's give it up for Camilla Pedersen. And handing over the flowers and the champagne for our winner here today, our future Hall of Famer Kenneth Gask and her General Manager Northern Europe, Mas. And with that, let's celebrate our 2019 champion here at the KMD IRONMAN Copenhagen in an unbelievable 8:31. Let's give it up for Germany's Anne Haug.
We've got to coach Maja Nielsen a little bit on her champagne corking abilities. In fact, our entire women's podium nice to each other.
This is a mega stein.
Yeah, this is going to be. They're going to have trouble getting that upside down if they're going to do the dump.
I don't think
here at Mont Tremblant, so head over to ironman.com or the tracker app to see how that transpires. And our Kona field will be complete, and all eyes will be directed towards the middle of the Pacific Ocean and that little island with a lot of lava and a lot of wind.
Yeah, and so thank you, Didi. Thank you very much for having me in studio. It was really a great privilege to be here to commentate this women's event here in Copenhagen. The opportunity to showcase these women in their country and to see the celebration, to see the inspiration was remarkable today. So thank you very much, and it was an honor to be here with you.
Thank you for joining us, and we hope to have you back again soon. What a great opportunity to have your insights with us here throughout the show. So thank you, and we'll catch you at the next race. Woo!